I pretended to be sick to skip my brother's funeral because he destroyed my marriage, so now my parents disowned me. My brother died 3 weeks ago in a car accident. Everyone acted like the world lost some kind of saint. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing with relatives telling me how sorry they were, how tragic it all was. I deleted every message. 2 years ago, I came home early from a work trip. I was supposed to be gone until Friday, but wrapped things up Wednesday night. Wanted to surprise my wife, maybe grab takeout on the way. I pulled into the driveway around 8 and saw my brother's truck parked on the street. Weird, but whatever. He lived 20 minutes away and sometimes stopped by. I walked in through the garage, heard sounds coming from upstairs. Took me a second to even process what I was hearing. I just stood there in the kitchen holding my suitcase like an idiot. Then I went upstairs and opened our bedroom door. My wife was in bed with him, my own brother, in the bed I paid for, in the house we bought together 3 years earlier. They both scrambled around trying to cover up. My brother started saying my name over and over. My wife was crying. I didn't yell, didn't throw anything. I just left, got back in my car, and drove to a motel near the airport. Filed for divorce the next week. My wife tried calling probably 200 times. I blocked her. My brother showed up at my apartment 4 days later, banging on the door, saying we needed to talk. I told him through the door that if he didn't leave, I'd call the cops. He finally left. The divorce took 8 months. She didn't contest anything. I gave her the house because I couldn't stand the thought of ever walking in there again. Took my stuff and moved 2 hours away to a smaller town where I didn't know anybody. My parents tried to get me to work things out with my brother. My mom kept saying family was more important than anything. My dad said I was being stubborn. They never once acknowledged what he actually did. It was always about me needing to forgive and move on. I stopped returning their calls after a while. So when my brother wrapped his truck around a tree on some back road, I didn't feel anything. My mom called me sobbing, saying I needed to come home for the funeral. I said I'd think about it. She called every day leading up to it. My dad left voicemails about how I'd regret missing it, how this was my last chance to make peace. The funeral was on a Saturday. I called my mom Friday night and told her I woke up with a fever and couldn't stop throwing up. Said I probably had food poisoning from something I ate. She asked if I could still make it. I said no, I could barely get out of bed. She went quiet for a second, then just said okay, and hung up. I spent that Saturday at a hardware store buying supplies to fix the leaking faucet in my bathroom. Then I grabbed a burger and went home. Installed the new faucet, watched some TV. It was a regular Saturday. Sunday morning, my phone started blowing up. My mom, my dad, cousins, my aunt. I ignored all of it. Finally listened to one voicemail from my dad. He said someone saw me at the hardware store Saturday afternoon. Said they talked to me and I seemed perfectly fine. He said I was dead to them, that I wasn't their son anymore. My mom sent one text after that. Just said, "Don't contact us again." My cousin showed up at my apartment Monday evening. I opened the door and he was standing there looking like he hadn't slept. He asked why I didn't come. I told him exactly why. Told him what my brother did. He said he didn't know about that, but it didn't matter now because my brother was dead. I asked him to leave. Got a letter in the mail yesterday from my parents' lawyer. They're removing me from their will. The letter was 3 sentences, but there was a USB drive taped to the bottom of the envelope. No label. I plugged it into my laptop. 1 video file. Dated the day before the funeral. I clicked play. It was my brother's bedroom. My ex-wife was packing up his things, crying. Then my mom walked in. They talked for a minute. Then my mom handed her something. I paused it and zoomed in. A small box. My ex-wife opened it. Inside was my grandmother's ring, the one that was supposed to come to me. My mom said something I had to rewind 3 times to believe. You were more family to him than his real brother ever was. I sat there staring at my laptop screen for maybe 20 minutes after the video ended. Just frozen. The ring had been my grandmother's engagement ring. She'd told me when I was 16 that it would come to me someday. Said it was tradition. First grandson gets it. My brother knew that. My parents knew that. The video kept playing in my head. My ex-wife's face when she opened that box. The way she touched the ring like it was sacred. My mom's hand on her shoulder, comforting her, like she was the grieving widow instead of the woman who'd been sleeping with my brother behind my back for who knows how long. I played the video again. This time I turned the volume up all the way and listened to every word. My mom's voice was soft, almost motherly. He would have wanted you to have this. He told me you two were planning to get married after everything settled down. My ex-wife was crying harder now. We were going to tell everyone next month, start fresh, but now... I know, sweetie, I know. They hugged, right there on camera. My mom hugging the woman who destroyed my marriage, who destroyed me. I saved the video to 3 different places. Cloud storage, external hard drive, emailed it to myself. Then I opened a beer even though it was 10 in the morning and tried to figure out what the hell to do with this information. My phone rang around noon. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. This is Vance Holloway. I'm the executor of your brother's estate. We need to schedule a time for you to come in and discuss some matters. I told him I didn't want anything from my brother's estate. He said it wasn't optional. There were things that required my signature regardless of whether I wanted the inheritance or not. We set an appointment for Thursday at 2. I hung up and immediately regretted answering. Wednesday morning, I woke up to emails. 3 of them. All from relatives I hadn't heard from in over a year. My Aunt Patrice, my Uncle Leonard, my second cousin Willa, all saying basically the same thing. That I should be ashamed of myself. That I'd disgraced the family. That my brother was a good man who'd made one mistake and I was holding a grudge even after his death. None of them knew what actually happened. They just knew the version my parents had been spreading. That my brother and my wife had a brief affair. That it was a moment of weakness. That I refused to forgive. I didn't respond to any of them. Thursday came and I drove to the lawyer's office. It was in the same town where I grew up. I hadn't been back since the divorce was finalized. The streets looked smaller than I remembered. Everything did. The lawyer's office was on the 3rd floor of an old building downtown. Vance Holloway was probably 60. Gray hair, expensive suit. He shook my hand and offered me coffee. I declined. Your brother's estate is relatively straightforward, he said, pulling out a folder. No debts, some savings. The truck was totaled, obviously, but there are a few items that he specifically wanted you to have. I started to say I didn't want anything, but he held up his hand. I understand this is complicated, but legally I need to go through this with you. If you choose to refuse the items, that's your right, but I have to offer them first. He slid a paper across the desk. It was a handwritten note, my brother's handwriting, dated 6 months before he died. If something happens to me, make sure these go to my brother. The watch, the photo albums from when we were kids, and the letter in my desk drawer. I looked at Vance. What letter? He pulled out an envelope. My name was written on the front, also in my brother's handwriting. I haven't read it, Vance said. That's between you and him. I took the envelope, didn't open it, just held it. The watch and albums are at your parents' house, Vance continued. I can arrange to have them shipped to you if you'd prefer not to pick them up in person. Ship them? He made a note. There's one more thing. Your brother had a life insurance policy, $50,000. The beneficiary is listed as you. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. No, absolutely not. Mr. Holloway, I understand. Give it to my parents. Or donate it. I don't care. I don't want his money. Vance set down his pen. The policy was purchased 4 years ago, before any of the complications between you occurred. If you refuse it, the money goes to the state. Your parents aren't listed as alternative beneficiaries. Then the state can have it. He sighed. I need you to sign something refusing it formally. Otherwise, it just sits in probate. I signed whatever he put in front of me, took the letter, and left. I sat in my car in the parking lot for a while. The envelope was burning a hole in my jacket pocket. I didn't want to read it. Didn't want to hear whatever excuse or apology or justification my brother had written, but I also knew I'd never stop wondering if I didn't. I opened it. I know you won't want to read this. I know you probably hate me. You should. What I did was unforgivable. But I need you to know something that nobody else knows. Jenna came on to me first. Not that it makes it okay. It doesn't. But you need to know she'd been planning to leave you for months before anything happened between us. She told me everything. About how she married you because you were stable and safe, but she'd never really loved you. About how she'd been saving money in a secret account. About how she was just waiting for the right time. I'm not telling you this to hurt you more. You deserve to know who you were married to. What I did was wrong. Sleeping with her was wrong. But she wasn't the person you thought she was. Neither of us were. I'm sorry. I'll be sorry until the day I die. But you deserved better than both of us. I read it 3 times. Then I put it back in the envelope and drove home. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about what he wrote. Jenna planning to leave. The secret account. Her never loving me. I wanted to not believe it. Wanted to think it was just my brother trying to make himself look less guilty. But something about it rang true. Little things I'd noticed but ignored. The way she never wanted to talk about long-term plans. How she kept her own bank account completely separate. How she'd sometimes look at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Friday morning I did something stupid. I looked up her Facebook. We weren't friends anymore, but her profile was public. She'd changed her last name back to her maiden name, Chapman. Her profile picture was her standing in front of a beach somewhere, smiling, looking happy. There was a post from 2 days ago. 1 year in San Diego and loving every minute. New job, new life, new me. San Diego. She'd moved to San Diego. The place she'd always talked about wanting to live. The place I'd always said we couldn't afford. I scrolled through her photos, her at restaurants, Her at bars, her with people I didn't recognize. Not a single picture of her looking sad or regretful. Just her living her best life like the past 9 years with me had never happened. Then I saw a photo from 3 months ago. Her and my mom, at a coffee shop. The caption said, "So grateful for this woman's support during the hardest time of my life." The comments were all sympathetic. People saying how strong she was, how proud they were of her for starting over. My mom had commented, "You'll always be family to us, sweetheart." I closed Facebook and threw my phone across the room. Saturday, I got a call from my cousin Garrett, the one who'd come to my apartment after the funeral. I let it go to voicemail. He called back immediately. And again. On the 4th call, I answered. "We need to talk," he said. "I know you don't want to see anyone right now, but this is important. Can I come over?" I told him no. "Then meet me somewhere. Coffee shop." "Whatever. Just give me 30 minutes. Something in his voice made me agree. We met at a diner halfway between his place and mine. He was already there when I arrived, sitting in a booth by the window. He looked worse than he had Monday, unshaven, dark circles under his eyes. I slid into the seat across from him. "What's so important?" He didn't say anything for a minute, just stared at his coffee. Then he pushed his phone across the table. "I need you to see something." It was a text thread between him and my brother, dated from 8 months ago. My brother. "I fucked up. I fucked up so bad." Garrett. "What happened?" My brother. "I slept with Jenna. Multiple times. And now she's talking about us being together, like really together. I don't know what to do." Garrett. "Jesus Christ, does he know?" My brother. "No, but she wants me to tell him. Wants us to be open about it. She thinks your parents will support us, that they'll help convince him to give her the divorce without making it ugly." Garrett. "This is insane. You need to end it." My brother. "I tried. She threatened to tell him herself, to tell him I forced her, that I took advantage of her when she was vulnerable." I stopped reading and looked at Garrett. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you need to know it wasn't just him. She manipulated both of you. She was playing you against each other." I pushed the phone back. "Doesn't change what he did." "No, it doesn't. But it changes what she did, and what your parents did." "What do you mean?" Garrett pulled up another screenshot. This one was an email, from my mom to my brother, dated 2 weeks before I came home early from that work trip. "Jenna called me today. She's very unhappy. She says you don't appreciate her, that you're always working, that she feels alone in the marriage. Maybe you should spend less time at the office and more time being a husband. She deserves better." I read it twice. My mom knew. Before it even started, she knew Jenna was unhappy. "There's more." Garrett scrolled through his phone. "Jenna had been having coffee with your mom for months, talking about her marriage, about you. Your mom encouraged her to find happiness, told her life was too short to be with the wrong person." "How do you know all this?" "Your brother told me. Near the end, when he was trying to figure out how to fix things. He said your mom basically gave Jenna permission to leave you, and when Jenna started showing interest in him, your mom didn't discourage it. She said maybe it was meant to be, that sometimes love happens in unexpected ways." I felt sick. My own mother. She convinced herself it was for the best, that you and Jenna weren't right for each other anyway, that at least if Jenna was with your brother, she'd still be in the family, that it would all work out eventually. That's insane. Yeah, it is. We sat there in silence for a while. The waitress came by and refilled our coffee. Neither of us had touched the first cup. "Why are you telling me this now?" I finally asked. "Because I saw what your parents did at the funeral, how they treated Jenna like she was the grieving girlfriend. How they're rewriting history to make your brother look like some tragic hero instead of the guy who betrayed his own brother. And I can't watch it anymore. You deserve to know the truth." I told him about the video, about my grandmother's ring, about my mom telling Jenna she was more family than I was. Garrett's face went red. "That ring was supposed to be yours. Grandma Iris told everyone." "I know. You need to do something about this. You can't let them get away with rewriting everything." "What am I supposed to do? They've already disowned me. I'm out of the will. They've made their choice." "Then make them face what they did. Show people the truth." I went home and watched the video again. Then I started going through my old emails, my old texts, building a timeline of everything that happened. Jenna's first mention of being unhappy, 6 months before the affair, right around the time Garrett said she'd started having coffee with my mom. My mom's texts to me during that period. All variations of "you need to make more time for your wife. Marriage takes work. Don't take her for granted." My brother's texts to me, asking about Jenna, how she was doing, if we were okay, playing the concerned brother while sleeping with my wife. I made a folder on my desktop, put everything in it. The video, the screenshots Garrett sent me, the letter from my brother, the emails, all of it. Then I did nothing with it. Just let it sit there while I went to work and came home and tried to pretend my life hadn't imploded twice in 2 years. Monday morning, I woke up to an email from Jenna. Subject line, "We need to talk." I deleted it without reading it. She sent another one Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, she called from a number I didn't have blocked. I made the mistake of answering. "Please don't hang up," she said. "I just need 5 minutes." I didn't say anything. "I heard about what happened with your parents, about them disowning you. That wasn't supposed to happen. Your mom promised me she'd fix things between you and your brother, that the funeral would be a new start for everyone." "You got the ring," I said. She went quiet. "Your mom gave it to me. I didn't ask for it." "But you took it." She insisted, said it's what he would have wanted, that we were going to get married. "Were you?" Another pause. "We talked about it, before the accident. He was going to propose at Christmas." I laughed. Cold. "Congratulations. You got everything you wanted." "That's not fair. I loved him. I really did." "You loved my house too, and my stability, and my paycheck while you figured out what you really wanted." "It wasn't like that." "Yes, it was. I read his letter. He told me everything. About you planning to leave, about the secret account, about you never loving me." She started crying. "He shouldn't have told you that. It was more complicated than that." "Seems pretty simple to me. You married me because I was safe. You left me because my brother was exciting. Now he's dead and you're alone. How's that working out?" "I called to see if you were okay, if there was anything I could do to help." "Help? You want to help? Give me back my grandmother's ring." "I can't do that. Your mom gave it to me." "It's mine now. It was never supposed to be yours." "Well, your mom disagrees. Take it up with her." She hung up. I sat there holding my phone, shaking. Then I opened my laptop and started writing an email to every family member I could think of, every single person who'd been at that funeral, every person who'd sent me a message about being ashamed of myself. I attached the video, the screenshots, everything. The subject line was, "The truth about my brother." I wrote one sentence. "Before you judge me, watch this." My finger hovered over send for probably 10 minutes. Once I did this, there was no going back. My family would implode. My parents would never forgive me. Whatever small chance existed of some kind of reconciliation would disappear forever. I hit send. Then I turned off my phone and went for a drive. I drove for hours, out past the town limits, through farmland and empty stretches of highway, stopped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and bought coffee that tasted like it had been sitting in the pot since morning. When I finally turned my phone back on around 8 that night, I had 63 missed calls, 42 text messages, and 27 emails. I didn't read any of them, just scrolled through the names. My mom, my dad, my Aunt Patrice, my Uncle Leonard, Garrett, Jenna, people I hadn't heard from in years. My old neighbor from the house I gave to Jenna in the divorce. I opened one email, from my Uncle Leonard. I had no idea. Nobody told us what really happened. "I'm sorry for what I said to you. Call me when you're ready." Then one from my Aunt Patrice. "Your mother has a lot to answer for. I'm coming to see you this weekend. Don't argue." Then one from a number I didn't recognize. "This is Vance Holloway. I've received several calls today about your brother's estate. Some family members are suggesting that the will might be contested based on new information. Please call me at your earliest convenience." I closed my email and just sat there in my car in the dark. My phone rang. "Garrett." I answered. "Your mom is losing her mind," he said. "She's calling everyone saying you doctored that video, that you're lying about everything, that you're trying to ruin your brother's memory. Is anyone believing her? Some of the older relatives? The ones who don't understand how video files work? But most people are pretty horrified. Your Aunt Patrice called your mom and absolutely ripped into her. I could hear your mom crying from across the room. Good. Your dad's not saying much, just sitting there. He looks like someone hit him with a truck. What about Jenna? Haven't heard from her. But I saw she deactivated her Facebook." I leaned back in my seat. "I don't feel better. I thought I would, but I just feel empty." "Give it time. You did the right thing." "Did I, though? What's the point? My brother's still dead. My marriage is still over. My parents still chose them over me. The point is the truth. People deserve to know what actually happened." We talked for a few more minutes, then hung up. I drove home and found my Aunt Patrice sitting on my front steps. She stood up when she saw me. "I couldn't wait until the weekend," she said. I let her in. She hugged me for a long time without saying anything. Then we sat at my kitchen table, and I made coffee, and she told me everything. How my mom had been talking about Jenna for years. How she'd always liked Jenna more than me. How she'd told people at church that Jenna was the daughter she never had. How when Jenna started complaining about our marriage, my mom encouraged her to leave instead of trying to work things out. "Your mother has this idea in her head about what love should look like," Patrice said. And you and Jenna didn't fit that picture. You were too practical, too boring. She wanted drama and passion and all that nonsense from romance novels. So she encouraged my wife to sleep with my brother. She convinced herself it was fate, that if Jenna and your brother had feelings for each other, it must be meant to be, that you'd understand eventually, that the family would stay together this way. That's delusional. Yes, it is. Patrice stayed until after midnight, told me she'd already talked to several relatives, that people were on my side, that my mom was going to have to face what she'd done whether she wanted to or not. After she left, I finally read through some of the messages. Most were supportive. Some were angry at my mom. A few were from people taking my parents' side, saying I shouldn't have aired family business publicly, that I was disrespecting my dead brother. I blocked those people and went to bed. The next morning there was a car in my driveway. My dad's truck. He was sitting in it, just sitting there, staring at my front door. I watched him from the window for a few minutes. He didn't move. Finally, I went outside. He rolled down the window. He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. His eyes were bloodshot. He hadn't shaved. "Can we talk?" he asked. I got in the passenger seat. We sat there in silence for a while. Then he started crying. I'd never seen my dad cry before. Not once in my entire life. "I didn't know," he said. "I swear to God I didn't know the extent of it. Your mother told me bits and pieces, but I didn't understand what she'd done, what she'd encouraged. You knew Jenna was unhappy." "Yes, but I thought it was normal marriage stuff. I didn't know your mother was actively encouraging her to leave. I didn't know about the coffee meetings or the conversations about your brother. But you knew after. You knew what happened, and you still chose them." He nodded. "I did, and I was wrong. I was trying to keep the peace, trying to not lose both my sons. But I lost you anyway. I lost you, and it's my own fault. You told me I was dead to you. I know, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life." He wiped his eyes. "Your mother is in bad shape. Won't leave the bedroom. Won't eat. She keeps saying everyone has turned against her, that you've poisoned the family against her. I just showed them what actually happened. I know, and she can't face it. Can't face what she did." He looked at me. "I'm not asking you to forgive her, or me. I just needed you to know that I'm sorry, that I see now what we did, how we failed you." "Why did you give Jenna my grandmother's ring?" "I didn't. Your mother did that without telling me. I found out from your Aunt Patrice yesterday. I had no idea." "Where is it now?" "I don't know. Jenna has it as far as I know. That ring is mine. Grandma Iris promised it to me. I'll talk to Jenna. I'll get it back for you." "Don't bother. I don't want it anymore. It's tainted now. Everything is." We sat there for a while longer. Then my dad asked if he could hug me. I let him. It felt awkward and wrong, but I let him anyway. He left shortly after. I watched his truck disappear down the street and wondered if I'd ever see him again. The rest of the week was chaos. More family members reaching out. More arguments on Facebook about who knew what and when. My mom's sister cutting off contact with her. My brother's friends coming out of the woodwork with their own stories about things he'd said and done. Turned out my brother had a pattern. This wasn't the first time he'd pursued someone else's girlfriend. There'd been an incident in college. Another one at his first job. He just usually stopped before it got serious. Jenna was the exception. The one time he didn't stop. Friday afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. A woman's voice. "Is this you? I'm calling about the ring. Your grandmother's ring. I'm a jeweler here in San Diego, and a woman brought it in yesterday trying to sell it. She had no paperwork, no proof of ownership. It seemed suspicious, so I looked up the design online and found your family's information. I wanted to verify ownership before proceeding. I gave her all the details. The design, the inscription inside the band, everything. That matches what she told me," the jeweler said. "But she seemed nervous. Kept looking around. Said she needed cash quickly. I told her I needed to verify ownership first, and she left in a hurry. Don't buy it from her. That ring was stolen from my family. I won't. But you should know she mentioned she'd try other jewelers if I didn't make an offer. You might want to file a police report." I thanked her and immediately called Garrett. He gave me the number for a lawyer friend who handled estate disputes. By Monday, I'd filed a police report and a civil claim for the ring's return. Jenna sent me an angry email saying I was harassing her, that the ring was a gift, that she had every right to sell it if she wanted. Her lawyer contacted my lawyer Wednesday. They wanted to settle. Offered to return the ring if I dropped all claims and signed an NDA about the affair and the circumstances around the divorce. I told my lawyer absolutely not. No NDA. She gives back the ring, and that's it. Thursday, her lawyer called back. Jenna would return the ring but wanted the video deleted. All copies. And she wanted me to post a public apology for sharing private family matters. Again, I refused. Friday, my lawyer called with an update. Jenna's lawyer had withdrawn from the case. Apparently Jenna had lied about several things, including the nature of the gift, and whether my mom had legal authority to give away family heirlooms. The lawyer didn't want to be part of it anymore. Jenna was on her own. 2 weeks later, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was my grandmother's ring and a note written in my mom's handwriting. I was wrong to give this to her. I was wrong about many things. I don't expect you to forgive me, but this belongs to you. It always did. I held the ring for a long time, turned it over in my hands, read the inscription my grandfather had put inside, forever and always. I put it in a safe deposit box at the bank and tried to figure out what to do with the rest of my life. My dad started calling once a week, Sunday mornings. I didn't always answer, but when I did, we'd talk about nothing important. The weather, sports, his garden. He never asked me to come visit, never mentioned my mom, just called to hear my voice. Garrett and I got lunch every couple of weeks. He updated me on family drama, who was still talking to my parents, who'd cut them off. Apparently, my mom had become something of a pariah in their church. Women she'd been friends with for years weren't returning her calls. She brought it on herself, Garrett said. She spent years judging everyone else's marriages and relationships. Now people are enjoying watching her fall from grace. I don't enjoy it, I said. I just wanted people to know the truth. Well, they do now, for better or worse. 6 months after I sent that email, my Aunt Patrice called with news. My parents were selling their house, downsizing to a condo across town. Too many memories in the old place. Your mom's having a hard time letting go, Patrice said. That house was her whole identity, the perfect house for the perfect family. Now that the illusion is shattered, she can't stand being there. What about my dad? He's relieved to leave, says maybe a fresh start will help. A week before they moved, my dad called and asked if I wanted anything from the house. Any childhood belongings or family photos. I told him to donate it all or throw it away. I didn't want anything that reminded me of that place. He called back the next day, said he was keeping a box for me anyway. My old trophies from Little League, photo albums from before everything went to hell. Some of my grandmother's things besides the ring. You might not want them now, he said, but someday you might. I'll keep them safe for you. I thanked him and hung up before the conversation could get more emotional. The house sold quickly. My parents moved into their condo in early December. My dad sent me their new address, but I never went to visit. Christmas came and went. I spent it alone in my apartment watching movies and eating Chinese takeout. My dad called and left a voicemail wishing me happy holidays. I texted back a thank you, but didn't call. New Year's Eve. I got drunk by myself and thought about what a disaster the past 3 years had been. Lost my wife, lost my brother, lost my parents, lost any sense of what family meant. I passed out around 11 and woke up January 1st with a headache and a notification on my phone. Jenna had reactivated her Facebook. Her relationship status now said, in a relationship. The guy's name was Preston something. His profile picture showed him on a yacht. I looked at her page for maybe 30 seconds before closing it and blocking her for good this time. January dragged on, cold and gray and depressing. I went to work, came home, watched TV, went to bed. Repeat. Garrett noticed during one of our lunches. You need to do something besides work and sleep. Join a gym. Take a class. Something. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're existing. There's a difference. He wasn't wrong, but I didn't have the energy to do anything about it. Then in February, something changed. My company hired a new project manager. Her name was Rhiannon. She was maybe 35, smart, funny, didn't take anyone's shit. We got assigned to the same project and spent 3 weeks working late nights getting everything finished. She asked me to grab dinner one night after work, just as colleagues. We went to a burger place near the office and talked about everything except work. She told me about her divorce 2 years ago, about how her ex-husband had emptied their joint account and moved to Arizona with his secretary. Biggest cliche ever, she said. I was so embarrassed, like I couldn't even get cheated on in an original way. I laughed. Actually laughed. First time in months. We started getting dinner once a week, then twice a week. It wasn't dating. We were both too damaged for that. Just two people who understood what betrayal felt like spending time together. She never pushed me to talk about my past. Never asked invasive questions. When I finally told her about my brother and my ex-wife and everything that happened, she just nodded and said, "People are the worst sometimes." That was it. No platitudes about forgiveness or moving on. Just acknowledgement that, yeah, people are the worst. March came around and my dad called. He needed to tell me something. My mom had been diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer. They'd caught it early. Treatment would start next month. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what I was supposed to feel. "I'm not asking you to come see her," my dad said. "I just thought you should know." I thanked him for telling me and hung up. That night I told Rhiannon. She asked if I was going to visit. No. "Okay. That's it? Just okay?" She shrugged. "It's your mom. Your decision." You don't owe her anything just because she's sick. Everyone else will expect me to visit. To make peace before it's too late or whatever. Everyone else didn't live through what you lived through. They don't get a vote. I appreciated that. The permission to not be the bigger person. My mom started chemo in April. My dad sent updates every couple of weeks. She was handling it well. Tired, but optimistic. The doctors were pleased with her progress. I never asked how she was doing. Just acknowledged that I'd received the message. Garrett told me people at church were praying for my mom. That she'd become something of a sympathetic figure now that she was sick. The woman who'd made terrible choices but was fighting cancer with grace and courage. People love a redemption arc, Garrett said. Doesn't matter if she's actually changed. The cancer makes her sympathetic. Has she changed? I don't know. She doesn't talk about what happened, doesn't acknowledge it, just focuses on getting through treatment. By June, my mom had finished chemo. The cancer was in remission. My dad called to tell me the good news. Said my mom wanted to talk to me, that she'd been thinking about everything and wanted to apologize properly. She's not ready, I said. How do you know? Because if she was really sorry, she'd have apologized months ago. The cancer didn't change her. It just gave her an excuse to reach out. My dad went quiet. Then he said, you might be right. July brought a heat wave. The air conditioner in my apartment broke and I spent 3 days sleeping with every window open and a fan pointed directly at my face. Rhiannon invited me to her place to escape the heat. She had central air and a pool in her apartment complex. We spent the afternoon swimming and drinking beer and not talking about anything serious. That night she kissed me. Just a quick kiss. Then pulled back and said, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Why not? Because we're both disasters. This is a terrible idea. Probably. We kissed again anyway. We didn't tell anyone at work. Kept things quiet. It wasn't serious. We were just two broken people finding comfort in each other. August, my dad called and said my mom wanted to have dinner with me. Just the three of us. She had things she wanted to say face to face. I told him I'd think about it. I talked to Rhiannon about it that night. She said I should do whatever felt right for me. If I wanted closure, go. If I didn't care about closure, don't go. I thought about it for 2 weeks. Then called my dad and agreed to dinner. We met at a restaurant halfway between their condo and my apartment. Neutral territory. My mom looked smaller than I remembered. Thinner. Her hair had grown back from chemo, but it was shorter now. Gray. She hugged me when I arrived. I stood there awkwardly and let her. We sat down, ordered food, made small talk about nothing. The weather, the restaurant, how busy traffic was. Finally, my mom set down her fork and looked at me. I need to apologize to you. For everything. For what I did. For choosing Jenna over you. For giving her your grandmother's ring. For not seeing what was really happening until it was too late. I didn't say anything. I convinced myself I was helping. That Jenna was unhappy and deserved better. That maybe if she was with your brother at least, she'd stay in the family. I know how insane that sounds now. But at the time, it made sense to me. You encouraged my wife to leave me. I did. And I'm sorry. You gave her my grandmother's ring. I did. And I'm sorry. You told her she was more family to you than I was. She started crying. I know. I said terrible things. I believed terrible things. And I'll spend the rest of my life regretting it. Why? I asked. Why did you do it? She wiped her eyes. Because I saw myself in Jenna. I married your father when I was 22. He was stable and safe and my parents loved him. But I'd always wondered what my life would have been like if I'd married someone else. Someone more exciting. When Jenna started talking about feeling trapped, I projected all my own regrets onto her. I encouraged her to do what I never had the courage to do. You wanted her to leave me because you wished you'd left Dad? No, I love your father. But yes, part of me was living vicariously through her, encouraging her to make choices I never made. My dad sat there not saying anything, just staring at his plate. I'm sorry, my mom said again. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I need you to know I see what I did. I see how wrong I was, and if I could go back and change it, I would. I looked at her. This woman who'd raised me, who'd packed my lunches and come to my baseball games and taught me to ride a bike. This woman who'd also destroyed my marriage and chose my cheating wife over me. I don't forgive you, I said. She nodded. I understand. Maybe someday I will, but not now. Not yet. That's fair. We finished dinner in mostly silence. When the check came, my dad reached for it, but I grabbed it first. Paid for all three of us. Some weird power move that probably didn't mean anything, but felt important in the moment. Outside the restaurant, my mom hugged me again. This time, I hugged her back. Just a little. Thank you for coming, she said. I nodded and left. On the drive home, I called Rhiannon and told her how it went. How do you feel? She asked. I don't know. Empty, maybe. Like I waited all this time for an apology, and now that I got one, it doesn't change anything. That's because apologies can't change the past. They're just words. So what's the point? I don't know. Maybe there isn't one. We talked until I got home. Then I sat in my car in the parking lot and thought about everything. My brother was still dead. My marriage was still over. My parents had still betrayed me. An apology didn't undo any of that. But maybe it was a start. Maybe someday I'd be able to think about my family without feeling like someone had punched me in the stomach. Just not today. September came and Rhiannon got offered a job in another state. Better pay, better position. She'd be stupid not to take it. We'd known this was temporary. We were never going to last. But it still sucked when she told me. "Come with me," she said one night. "What? Come with me, fresh start, new city, leave all this behind." I thought about it. Really thought about it. Starting over somewhere nobody knew my history. Where I could be just me instead of the guy whose brother slept with his wife. "I can't," I finally said. "Why not?" "Because running away doesn't fix anything. I tried that already. It just means bringing all your damage to a new place." She kissed me. "When did you get so wise?" "I'm not wise. I'm just tired of running." She left in October. We promised to keep in touch, but both knew we wouldn't. That's how these things go. November marked 3 years since I came home early from that work trip. 3 years since my life fell apart.